This is a review for the Netflix movie Horse Girl. So I saw the trailer for this on Netflix, and the trailer is showing Alison Brie doing weird things, and from the trailer you're made to believe that Alison Brie is being abducted by aliens. So I'm like, okay, let's watch this. I'm into alien abductions and UFOs. It looked interesting. This all based on the trailer, of course. So I start watching this movie. Alison Brie on this, Sarah, is this shy introvert that is obsessed with this crappy TV show about demon cops or something. She keeps having these nosebleeds, which is meant to lean on as alien abductions. She works at this yarn store with Molly Shannon, who's usually pretty funny, not so much in this. She plays Alison Brie's boss. So we meet Alison Brie's roommate, who is this professional gal who has a life and a boyfriend. I have to admit, I became more interested in this couple and what they were doing more than Alison Brie and her weird messes. So we find out Alison Brie has an actual horse in this. Who would have thought in Horse Girl, right? So we see her visiting this horse, and some girl is riding her horse, and she's getting upset about this girl having horse riding lessons, and she starts telling the girl how to ride her horse. So we see the horse ranch people who are getting annoyed with her, and she leaves. So her car gets stolen, and her dad, Paul Reiser, helps her get the car back, and they're talking about her mom. They talk about mental illness. She finds out the car was left somewhere with the ignition running and key in ignition. The tow truck guy says it's like someone was taken from the car, and Alison Brie is just staring at the car confused, and this is another hint at alien abduction. Alison Brie has a nosebleed again. She keeps having nosebleeds, so she researches on the internet about the nosebleeds and sees that alien abduction victims have nosebleeds a lot. So she starts researching alien abduction on the net even more and sees people saying things like about their car missing, like her car went missing, and other weird things, and she's led to believe she is abducted by aliens. She goes to the doctor and asks him about his theory on this, and he just tells her she just has a simple nosebleed, and she gets kind of upset that the guy didn't believe her. Her roommate is trying to set her up with her boyfriend's friend. She eventually agrees to meet her boyfriend's friend. The first date goes well. She and this guy hit it off. So she is having these weird dreams of being on a ship, and she sees this other guy who owns a plumbing store in the town in her dream. So she decides to hire this guy to ask him if he remembers her on the ship. They send out some guy who tears up the house trying to fix plumbing that's not broke. The roommate comes home and freaks out and tells her, "We're renting this place. Why would you do this?" And the wall is damaged too, and she has to fix that. The roommate is pissed off and leaves. So she goes on a second date with this guy again, and it goes off the deep end. And she does a bunch of crazy crap and tries to get this poor guy. I feel bad for this guy. To dig up her dead mom's body out of the cemetery to prove that she's a clone of her dead mother, and that aliens are cloning her and all of this crazy stuff. And I just felt so bad for this guy on this, the guy that was trying to date her. The guy takes her to her apartment where she goes nuts there. The roommate and the boyfriend watch her go nuts. She's got all the appliances in the apartment running, claiming it makes the aliens unable to hear or find her. The roommate is freaked out. A fire almost breaks out. She then shockingly goes to work the next day and takes a shower there and comes out buck naked to the customers. She is put into a psych ward, and this guy tells her she's been there before. And she says, "No, I have never been here." She gets out of there. She tries to go see the horse again, and the horse ranch owner catches her in her tinfoil outfit that she's made to avoid aliens. He runs her off. They show her back in the psych ward, and there's this girl in there that was in her dreams on the ship, and the girl is telling her this crazy BS about aliens abducting people and putting them back in the wrong time period. So she believes she's actually her dead mother and not her daughter, and the aliens have put her in the wrong time period. So she steals her horse back from these ranchers, which I don't know how she did that. They don't show it, and sets it free in this field and dresses like she's in the 50s, and the ending is her in this field and she flies up in the sky. I kid you not, this is the ending. This movie, it's just this movie is very bizarre, and you're left wondering, is she suffering from mental illness like her mother? Or is she really an abductee clone of her mother? I mean, it's all just... You can't tell either way what's going on here. I would have liked this movie more had it been about actual alien abduction from what I could determine on the movie. I told a friend of mine about this movie, and he said, she doesn't turn into a horse at the end? And I'm like, she turns into a horse? And I had never considered that idea or concept, but after watching this, it would have made this movie bearable that she turns into a horse at the end. So after watching some YouTubes of Alison and Brie talking about this movie, all I could get out of this is it's supposed to be a study of mental illness. If you want to watch a movie about mental illness, I'd suggest watching A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe. I mean, that movie won Oscars and all sorts of stuff, and I mean, that's a actually good movie compared to this. And it's a straightforward movie, that's the other thing. This movie is she or isn't she? Is she getting abducted? Oh no, wait, she's just suffering mental illness, and I mean, it's just all over the place, this whole movie. This movie was pretty boring. If it weren't for the possible misleading alien abduction aspect, I would have turned this off 5 minutes in. I'd say this movie was false advertisement. I was hoping for an alien abduction movie, and I got a frumpy Alison Brie watching a crappy TV show, harassing a horse ranch owner and seeing a horse that isn't hers anymore. And the rest of it, it's just so interpretive, man. It's up to you to decide. I give this 0 out of 10 stars. Avoid this show at all costs. It's just a total piece of crap.